Hello everyone, my name is Demetrius McBride, and welcome back to Civics in Columbus, from City Hall to Capitol Hill, where we break down how government works so you can better understand your role in it. Before we move forward, let's quickly recap where we left off. In episode 4, we focused on the executive branch of Columbus City government, specifically the mayor and the city manager. We clarified that while many people assume the mayor runs the city, the reality is more structured and collaborative. The mayor provides leadership, represents the city, and helps guide policy directions, but does not act alone. We also discussed the city manager, who is responsible for the day-to-day operations of the city. This includes managing departments, overseeing staff, and implementing policies that are passed by council, and preparing the city's budget. The key takeaways from episode 4 is this: the council sets the direction, the mayor leads, and the city manager executes. Now that we understand how leadership functions at the top, the next logical question is, what other parts of government help carry out that work? In episode 5, we're going to take a look at boards, commissions, and local government operations. Most people are familiar with the mayor and city council, but many important decisions in local government are also influenced by boards, commissions, and administrative departments. Today we're going to take a look or talk about how these bodies work and how citizens like you and I can participate in them. Let's start with boards and commissions. These are some of the most overlooked but highly impactful parts of local government. Boards and commissions are created by city ordinances, meaning the city council establishes them to focus on specific areas of need. Members are typically appointed by the council and can be also removed by the council if necessary. These bodies oversee targeted functions such as planning and zoning, housing, parks and recreation, and safety advisory roles, and much, much more. Think of them as a specialized team that helps the city operate efficiently in key areas. Now, here's what makes this important. These are not ceremonial positions. Members of boards and commissions take an oath to perform their duties fairly and impartially. In some cases, they may receive compensation or reimbursement for their services, but more importantly, they influence real decisions. For example, a planning commission may review development proposals that shape the growth of your neighborhood. A housing authority may influence policies that affect affordability and access. Here's the practical takeaway for boards and commissions. If you want to have a direct voice in how your city operates, this is one of the most accessible entry points for all citizens. You can apply to serve on these boards, you can attend meetings, you can stay informed, and speak during public comment periods. Now that we've covered how boards and commissions support decision making, let's shift to another critical component of local government: the judicial branch. At the local level, the judicial branch is primarily represented by the municipal court, often referred to as Recorder's Court. This court handles violations of city ordinances and traffic offenses. So, if someone violates a local law, whether it's a traffic ticket, a code violation, or certain misdemeanor level offenses, it is handled at this level. The city attorney plays a key role here, serving as both the legal advisor to the city and the prosecutor in municipal court cases. Now, it's important to understand that decisions made in Recorder's Court are not necessarily final. Cases can be appealed to higher courts if necessary. Why does this matter to you? Because this is where your local accountability begins. It's where city laws are enforced and where residents can see how those laws are applied in real time. Now that we understand how laws are enforced, let's talk about how leaders are chosen and what happens if the public believes those leaders are not meeting expectations. Let's talk about elections and recalls, because this is where citizens' power becomes real. In Columbus, city council members and the mayor are elected every 4 years. This gives citizens a consistent opportunity to evaluate leadership and make changes if needed. We make changes if needed. Voting is your primary tool for accountability. But the charter goes a step further. It includes provisions for recall. Yes, we can recall our elected officials locally. Recall is a formal process that allows citizens to remove an elected official from office before their term ends. Let's keep it real. It is not simple, and it is not supposed to be. It requires a petition process, specific legal grounds, and a significant level of public support. This is intentional. Recall is designed to address serious concerns, not routine disagreements. In Columbus, Georgia, the city charter establishes that the mayor and city council members are elected every 4 years under Article 6 elections. But beyond regular elections, there's another tool available to the public: recall. Now, here's the key point. While the charter authorizes elections and accountability, the specific process for recall is governed by Georgia law. Remember, we're talking local, state, and federal. So for recall, that is governed by Georgia law, which does work alongside the charter. So what does that actually look like in practice? Step 1. The process begins with a formal application for recall, not a petition right away. You must apply to recall the mayor or a city council member. A group of registered voters called sponsors must submit an application that includes the name and office of the official, a designated petition chairperson, someone has to lead the charge, and a statement explaining the grounds for recall and how the official's actions negatively impacted the public as a whole. This is not optional. You must clearly state the justification for removal. Also, timing matters. You cannot file for a recall during the first or last 180 days of an official's term. This is going to get deep, and we're just getting started. Step 2, judicial review of grounds. Once the application is filed, it goes through a judicial review process. A superior court judge evaluates whether the stated grounds are legally sufficient. This ensures recall is not used for political disagreement, but for legitimate concerns tied to the official's conduct. If the judge approves it, then and only then can you move forward. Step 3, circulating the recall petition. After approval, the petition phase begins. Supporters must gather signatures from registered voters within the official district, not all over the city. If it's a specific district city council person you want to work with, you have to get people from that district. You must validate registered voters. You must validate that they're a resident of the district and verify and properly document it. Georgia law requires a significant threshold of signatures based on voter turnout, ensuring that recall reflects the broad community support and not just a small group. I told you it was going to get deep. Quattro. Step 4. Once signatures are collected, they are submitted to election officials for verification. If enough valid signatures are confirmed, the process moves forward to an election. If not, the recall stops right there at that point. Cinco. Step 5. The recall election. If the petition is certified, a recall election is scheduled, similar to a special election under the charter framework. At that point, voters decide should the official remain in office or be removed. This ties directly back to the charter's provisions for elections and special elections under Article 6, Section 6-201 to be specific, which governs how vacancies and elections are conducted locally. Let's keep it real, Columbus. Recall is intentionally difficult. It requires legal justification, court approval, significant voter support, and public election. But this is by design, because recall is not meant to be a shortcut around elections. It is a safeguard for serious situations and offenses only. So here's the bottom line. Elections, our voice is in our vote. Our vote is our voice. Elections are your routine accountability tool. If you don't like it, vote them out. Recalls are our emergency accountability tool if they have done something legally wrong, and we must prove it. Both only work when citizens are informed, organized, and engaged. Now that we've covered leadership selection and accountability, let's shift to something that impacts every resident. How the city manages its money. All right, Columbus, Koga, let's talk about the money. Because at the end of the day, budgets reflect priorities. Show me your budget, I'll show you what you value. Under the city charter, the council has the authority to levy taxes, fees, and assessments. They also adopt the city's budget and approve borrowing when necessary. But the process starts with the executive branch. The city manager prepares the budget and the mayor submits it to the council for approval. This budget outlines how funds will be allocated across departments such as public safety, infrastructures, parks and recs, housing, and more. Now here's something many people don't realize. Taxes and services can vary by district. That means where you live can influence the services you receive and how resources are allocated to you. This is why public input is so critical. Budget hearings are open to the public. This is your opportunity, this is our opportunity to speak up about what matters, whether it's road improvements, public safety, youth programs, or economic development. If you want to influence change, follow the money. Follow the money. Because the budget tells you exactly what the city values and where it is investing, or more importantly, what side of town it is investing in. Now that we've discussed how resources are managed, let's close this section by talking about something that holds everything together. Ethics. Every system needs accountability. Every system. And that's where the Code of Ethics comes in. The city's Code of Ethics requires public officials to avoid conflicts of interest and prohibits using public office for personal gain. This is foundational because without ethical leadership, even the best system can fail. And we're going to address ethics in another post. Give me a moment. Transparency builds trust, and trust is what allows governments to function effectively. As citizens, we have the right to expect integrity from our leaders and the responsibility to hold them accountable when the standard is not met. So let's bring it all together. In this episode, we covered the broader structure of local government, operations, boards and commissions, the judicial branch, elections and recalls, financial administration, and ethics. Here are the key takeaways. Government is not just the mayor and city council. It is a network of systems, people, and processes working together, and we have a role to play in it. All of us have a role to play in it. You can serve on boards, you can attend court sessions, you can vote, you can speak at budget hearings. Local government works best when citizens are informed, engaged, and willing to participate. In our next episode, we'll continue building on this foundation so you can better understand how to navigate and influence the system effectively. Until next time, stay engaged, stay encouraged, and most importantly, stay informed. Demetrius McBride signing out. Peace.